This is Matador News. And these are today's headlines. Governor Brown issues mandatory water restrictions. Pope Francis washes inmates' feet as a humbling service.
Angel.
And Paul Walker's family is proud with the new movie. Hello and welcome to Matador News. I'm Noemi Barrajas.
And I'm Jenny Vong.
Governor Brown has announced a mandatory water restriction for the first time in California. Homeowners, businesses, farms, and cities have been ordered to reduce water usage by 25%. The restriction does not apply to agriculture industry, causing criticism because it uses about 80% of California's developed water supply. Brown's executive order will force water cuts on campuses, golf courses, cemeteries, and other large landscapes. Brown declared a state of emergency last year and says it is the worst drought since records began about 100 years ago.
At least 147 people are dead and 70 others are hurt today after the Al-Shabaab terrorist group attacked Garissa University in Kenya. Survivors say they heard attackers arrive at the dorms and asked the people inside if they were Muslims or Christians. If they were Christian, they were shot on the spot. The Kenya National Disaster Operations Center said more than 500 students have been rescued and all staff have been accounted for. However, over 300 students are still missing. Kenya police identify Mohammed as a possible mastermind. President Uhuru Kenyatta says police posted a $250,000 bounty on him.
This is a moment for everyone throughout the country to be vigilant as we confront and defeat our enemies.
Al-Shabaab has also been blamed for 2013 attack at Nairobi Westgate Mall and deadly attack on the Somali hotel last week.
An agreement has been reached that could lead to a deal between the United States and Iran over the future of Iran's nuclear program. Iranian's Foreign Minister Javad Zarif sent a tweet this morning saying a solution has been found and they were ready to start drafting immediately. President Obama says these negotiations may prevent Iran from developing a nuclear weapon.
Our work is not yet done. The deal has not been signed. Between now and the end of June, the negotiators will continue to work through the details of how this framework will be fully implemented, and those details matter.
A sticking point has been compliance, but all sides say they have figured out a way to make sure Iran lives up to its commitments. If it does, the U.S. has agreed to lift economic sanctions.
German prosecutors say the co-pilot of Germanwings Flight 9525 researched suicide methods and cockpit door security on the internet in the days before he crashed the plane into French Alps last week. Investigators found Lufit's iPad at his apartment in Dusseldorf with the searches in his browser history. Germanwings officials say they did not know he had been suffering from depression during his pilot training. But yesterday, officials of Germanwings' parent company Lufthansa confirmed they knew he had an episode of what they call severe depression, but they say he did pass all of his medical checks after that. Meanwhile, French prosecutors found the jet's second black box, which captures 24 hours of information on the condition of the plane. Although the data recorder was completely burned, prosecutors say they hope they'll find new information on exactly what happened on the flight.
Indiana lawmakers are making changes to the state's religious objections law. The changes come after widespread criticism from businesses that have called the proposal anti-gay. The new language prohibits service providers from discrimination based on things like race, sexual orientation, or religion. Indiana's House Speaker Brian Bosma says the changes promote equality.
To let every Hoosier know that we value you. Gay, straight, black, white, religious, non-religious. We value each and every Hoosier.
The amendment comes as Arkansas also scrambles to revise its religious objections legislation. Similar proposals have been introduced this year in more than a dozen states.
Los Angeles will spend $1.3 billion to repair sidewalks over the next 30 years. This comes as a solution to a lawsuit saying the city violated the Americans with Disabilities Act because of the poor sidewalk conditions. About 40% of the sidewalks in Los Angeles need repair. Parks and heavily trafficked sidewalks will be the first focus. Starting next year, the city will spend $31 million annually, rising to $63 million in future years. A federal judge still needs to approve exact details of the deal.
Pope Francis visits Rome's Rebibbia prison to celebrate Holy Thursday with inmates. During the celebration, Pope washed the feet of 12 inmates chosen from the prison's male and female detention centers. Holy Thursday is a traditional celebration of Jesus' Last Supper with his disciples before his crucifixion. Pope Francis broke the tradition by washing women's feet and not just the feet of men. Last year, the Pope celebrated the tradition at a rehabilitation facility for the elderly and disabled. Tomorrow, Pope Francis will celebrate Good Friday by leading thousands in the Stations of the Cross at the Colosseum.
Founder of Crystal Cathedral Megachurch and televangelist Robert Schuller dies at 88. Schuller passed away this morning in a care facility in Artesia. He had been battling esophageal cancer since 2008. Schuller started the weekly Hour of Power television show that reached 20 million viewers at its peak, but in later years, the ministry declined. The church filed for bankruptcy. The Roman Catholic Church bought the cathedral. Schuller also wrote dozens of books, several which are bestsellers. Schuller's wife, Arvila, died last year. He is survived by their 4 daughters, 1 son, 19 grandchildren, and 9 great-grandchildren. A public memorial service is planned, but the date has not been set yet.
And now we go with Nancy Tinajero with entertainment news.
Thank you, Naomi. Vin Diesel has deemed Furious 7 more than a movie. The movie premiere in Hollywood yesterday turned into a tribute as family of the late Paul Walker and fellow cast members toasted the actor's legacy. Ludacris says the movie does justice to Walker's work.
Angel, and I know he's upstairs looking down on us, and I'm sure he's smiling right now because the way that this movie is done is always honoring him and paying homage to him, and I think that in the end, people are definitely going to love the way his legacy is being carried on.
Younger brother Cody Walker says he thinks his brother would be proud. Cody and another brother Caleb filled in as body doubled for Walker's unfinished scenes. Furious 7 opens up in theaters tomorrow night. Former rapper Vanilla Ice will not serve jail time after stealing multiple items from a Florida home. Vanilla Ice, also known by his real name Robert Van Winkland, and his top chart 1990 hit Ice Baby Ice, was charged with grand theft for a burglary that he committed last year. Vanilla Ice admitted guilt to avoid prosecution and has been ordered to pay $1,300 to the homeowner. And he will also do 100 hours of community service with Habitats of Humanity. Now let's go to Jacqueline Serrano with the latest in sports.
The Los Angeles Clippers came out on top last night against the Portland Trail Blazers. After being down by 19 points in the second quarter, Blake Griffin and Chris Paul scored back-to-back threes to regain the lead with 6 minutes left in the fourth quarter. But the Blazers wouldn't go down without a fight. McCollum scored a 3 to cut the lead down to 2 with only 5 seconds to go. Clippers won 126 to 122. CP3 scored a season-high of 41 points. They remain a half a game ahead of the Spurs for the number 5 seed with only 6 games left in the season. The prosecution rests in the murder trial of former New England Patriots player Aaron Hernandez. Hernandez is accused of shooting his fiance's sister's boyfriend, Odin Lloyd, in 2013. Evidence from surveillance cameras taken from Hernandez's home shows him holding a black object that police say may be a gun. Patriots owner Bob Kraft says Hernandez told him he was innocent.
Aaron told you he had nothing to do with this. Isn't that right?
He said he was innocent.
Didn't he say he was completely innocent?
I don't recall exactly the words.
Once the defense rests, closing arguments will be delivered and 12 jurors will decide Hernandez's fate. If convicted, Hernandez will face life in prison. Now we go to Nancy Tinajero with business news.
McDonald's says it will increase hourly wages for roughly 90,000 workers. Beginning July 1st, starting wages will be at least $1 more than the minimum wage set by the local law. McDonald's projects its average hourly wage will be more than $10 an hour by the end of 2016. The raise in paid time off applies to the 1,500 McDonald's-owned restaurants in the U.S. It does not apply to franchise-owned stores, which make up 90% of the company's stores. The fast food giant is extending benefits for all McDonald's employees, including free high school competition, financial assistance for college, and classes for non-English speakers. Long Beach is planning to join the likes for Silicon Beach. It's the label given to the tech scene booming in Santa Monica, Venice, and surrounding neighborhoods, making Los Angeles a top competitor for the northern Silicon Valley. Silicon Beach is the home of office of Google, Snapchat, Hulu, YouTube, and more. Downtown Los Angeles is also emerging as a destination for tech companies. Downtown's greatest tech strength is in e-commerce, with many large web-centric retailers. Long Beach Mayor Robert Garcia hopes to join in the battle for the titles of the next Silicon Valley. Virgin Galactic has announced it will build satellite launchers near Long Beach Airport. And now we go to health news with Jacqueline Serrano.
A 56-year-old Arkansas man has developed kidney failure thanks to his love for iced tea. The man drinks about 16 8-ounce cups of iced tea every day, leading to high levels of the chemical oxalate that is in black tea. The chemical is known to cause kidney stones and kidney failure when taken in excessive amounts. The man was drinking 10 times the amount of the average American. Some veterans are more eligible for psychiatric care than others, but the ones without benefits are more likely to kill themselves. Those not honorably discharged have a higher risk of suicide, but do not get the same benefits that honorably discharged soldiers do. The largest study to date of military and veteran suicides revealed 46 out of every 100,000 former service members commit suicide each year. That is double the amount of those honorably discharged. Congress failed to pass a bill last year that would have upgraded certain discharges to make more veterans eligible for care. And now we go to the newsroom with Matador News reporter Maria Cruz with your spring break report.
Thanks, Jacqueline. Spring break is coming, and some CSUN students say they're super excited about their upcoming week off.
I'm going to go on a road trip with my puppy to North Carolina.
And do what? What do you want to do over there?
I'm going to go apartment hunting. I'm going to go to the breweries and take a beer tour and just do some sightseeing.
I have to work, so I really don't get to have fun, but I get to sleep in at least, so I'm happy.
I'm going home.
Where do you live?
Up near Santa Barbara area, Solvang, Buellton. Ever heard any of that?
What are you going to do at home?
See my friends, get in a few good hikes, relax, no parties.
If you're wondering what the weather will be like in Los Angeles during spring break, forecasters say it will be in the low 70s with the possibility of showers next Tuesday and Friday. If you want to head to the beach, the weather in Santa Monica will be in the high 60s. The weather is perfect to go for a walk in the park and maybe go feed some ducks. But keep in mind that the pollen levels will be at its highest, so make sure you take precautions. Classes start back again on Monday, April 13th, so don't forget to make it back to school. And now we go to the studio with Jenny.
That is all for news today. Thank you for watching. I'm Jenny Vong.
And I'm Noemi Barrajas. Have a great spring break.